enjoying your summer so far. It's certainly good and hot here in Boston, and when the weather gets warm, I certainly start thinking about cold soups, which are very refreshing, I think, in the summertime. And I want to show you one of my favorites, which is a cold tomato-based soup that sort of creamy and has a lot of interesting garden fresh vegetables that are just coming to market now. So we're going to start here with some tomato juice. I have about 46 ounces of tomato juice. You could use a little bit less if the can or the jar that you find is a little bit less, that's fine. But starting that with the base, and we're going to add to it our vegetables. And so I have here a cucumber that's been seeded and chopped. This is just a regular garden fresh cucumber, and if you take the seeds out, it's much nicer, I think, presentation. I also have a sweet red pepper that's been diced small as I can. I have 2 scallions that have been sliced, and I'm going to crush 2 cloves of garlic into the soup as well. Then we're going to add to that, I have over here some chopped fresh chives, which is for the garnish on top. And the most important ingredient of all is dill. I'm using fresh dill, and this is really what makes the soup, is that flavor as it sits in the tomato juice and sort of infiltrates the flavor. It's fantastic. You can use dry dill if you have to, but I think the point of the soup is really to use fresh ingredients if you can all figure out how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and put my vegetables in. Lots of goodies in there, and I'm going to go ahead and crush my 2 cloves of garlic, which I'm going to go ahead and cut into smaller pieces to get them through the press. This is one of my favorite garlic presses of all time. This is made by Zwillings. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 cloves through there. My knife to get it all in there, and I'm going to give all that a stir. Then we're going to add to that a teaspoon of fresh honey, so I'm going to add my ½ cup of sour cream and a ½ cup of yogurt to go along with that. And then, of course, fresh dill. I have about 2 tablespoons of fresh dill there, and you can use more or less according to your taste. And give this all a good stir, especially try and get that yogurt and sour cream broken up if you can. And you should probably chill this for a couple of hours. That will help it get cold enough to be refreshing, and also allow the dill and some of the other flavors to come together. Last piece, obviously, is to give it a little bit of fresh salt and pepper also. Fresh grating of pepper, give it a good dose, and some salt. Now, to serve this, the other very vital element to this dish is to make some homemade croutons that will allow us to get some buttery flavor on top and give it some a little more interesting things to it. So we're going to make some homemade croutons, and over here I have cubed up some nice bread. You want to find something that can be cubed nicely. You don't want it to be too soft, or it's just going to mush when you try and cut it. So get some nice cubes, and what we're going to use is our buttercraft provisions butter, finishing butter, and this is a jalapeno, fire roasted jalapeno butter. So it'll give us a little bit of spice, a little bit of butter to go on top of the soup to finish it all off. And make sure you don't skip on the butter here, because you really want those intense butter flavors to be part of the bite that you have with the creamy tomato soup. It's really, really nice. I also like this dish a lot to serve as a lunch with a grilled cheese sandwich. It's a very nice summertime meal. It's also great as an appetizer to a more fancy meal that you might have. And tonight we're going to serve this with some grilled chicken on the side as well for a dinner. So go ahead and get the bread in there and give it a good tossing so that it all gets some butter on it. To cook over medium heat for a few minutes. Don't be in a rush. Let it take its time. And we'll come back and finish the soup off after it's done. So I like to serve with my tomato soup. This is a very nice Jamaican jerk chicken. So I've marinated this chicken breast pieces and some chicken thighs in Jamaican jerk seasoning overnight and put them on the grill, and the spiciness is nicely pulled off with the creamy tomato soup, cold tomato soup that will go with it, and it's a very nice combination. All right, so the chicken's come off the grill, ready to serve up dinner. So here is our cold tomato soup here that's been nicely chilled, and you're gonna go ahead and ladle some of that into a bowl, and we're going to top it with our homemade jalapeno croutons. You want to make sure you cook those good so that they don't get too soggy when they sit in the soup. This will make add a nice touch to the soup. And we're also going to top it with some fresh chives to give it some color, give it some flavor. I'm serving this with some Jamaican jerk chicken that's hot off the grill and our tomato soup. Nice summertime meal. Enjoy, like and subscribe.